Hello, I'm Walt Richardson. Please join me for a very special Songwriters Showcase. Welcome to the Tempe Center for the Arts. This is the home of Walk-In Wednesday's Open Mic Series and Songwriters Showcase. Tonight's Songwriters Showcase is a very special one featuring AmeriCamera, which is a unique blend of poetry and music created by Billy Cioffi and T.R. Hummer. So open your eyes, open your heart, open your mind. AmeriCamera.
AmeriCamera is a conversation between both two songwriters, and also it's a conversation between language and music, which is what songwriting always is, but in this case it's made more complicated by the presence of textual poetry, which is intimately related to the music.
I kind of see it as this author-audience, where in the collaborative process, both Terry and I become both the author and the audience. So what I say, he reacts to, and then what he says, I react to, and each of the songs tend to have a specific sort of identity for each of us.
It's a harsh dawn that makes its way through the transom into the parlor, where the woman passed out on the couch covers her eyes and goes on dreaming. It's a cruel siren wail that makes her grind her head into the velvet pillow, groaning. In the bathroom down the hall, her sister brushes her weeping hair. In the bedroom, their mother sits stunned. This is the house brushed by the wing of the desolate angel. The news is full of it, how the fierce seraph smote them. There's even a photograph. Never mind the flame-studded mace, how high he swung it. Consider the eyes, their desperate metaphysical glow. You'd swear the creature was terrified. You'd think he was driven to his own destruction. But when the arm came down, not a subtone of mercy in it. And look at them now, broken, soulless, adrift in inevitable light as fairies break dark water, sounding dissonant horns.
What we're doing now, from my side of it, is now taking poems which were initially translations of music into language and translating them back into music again.
AmeriCamera to me is a song cycle that includes poetry.
It's as if American music is a kind of strange image-creating device that takes pictures of people's souls, and no other medium can do it. It is the only medium that can get this particular angle. So that's why the title is what it is, and that's what we're trying to work with as a metaphor in the background.
The sky is dark above the plains. Summer grass is torn and stained. They're piling carts with bodies high. Some not breathing, chest still heaving, just before they die. The road beyond the tent is scattered with the shrapnel of the dead and the shattered, where the ragged refugees become ghosts walking, dead men talking beneath bare trees. Broken angel, wings on fire, but I am quickly to his heart's desire. Tell her he lies on the battleground, dead men talking from a cannon's mouth.
One of the things that's interesting about AmeriCamera is it's not written in the first person. There's very few I's or we's, or, you know, in terms of the generic sort of song that's written from that first person. We tended to take a lot of it written in the third person, and that was intentional, you know, because we wanted it to be seen more as a story as opposed to like something that's coming from a purely personal point of view.
I hope that the audience experiences a rhythmic experience, and by that I don't mean just simply in terms of musical, but in terms of the whole of a conversation, in fact, that moves between two poles, between the poems, which are both a point of origin for the songs and also are a new manifestation of the poem. The songs are a new manifestation of the poem, so that an attentive listener will hear the material from two sides in a way that they might not, either just reading the poems on the page or just listening to music.
She lies in bed in a strange city, watching her lover while he sleeps. Someone else's books on the shelves, strangers' snapshots framed on the bureau, a coal train on its track along a river fixed in black acid against limestone, a Toyota at curbside fading, releasing its ghostly odor of bromide, anatomy of branches through a window, smudged against pale sky. She is living in an old photograph, a turn-of-the-century tintype, brown-edged, slightly out of focus. When the sunlight makes its way across the comforter to touch her, she feels herself begin to disappear. Her palms go first, clarifying like lenses. Then her legs, daguerreotype of a wartime amputee. Chemistry is merciless, her aura helpless in this light. When the man beside her wakes, there is nothing there but a face, oddly faded, familiar in a distant way, an ancestor maybe, distorted behind old glass in a gold foil frame, or nobody, a child in a porch swing who never had a name, never had a life, not even forgotten, regarding him with a crudely fixed gaze, colorless but certain.
If one line of poem, of song, or one musical idea conjures up an image within the individual in the audience, and it is in fact meaningful to them, and whatever they have got from that, they take it away and make it their own.
Girl without a body, boy without a mind, put their hands together like the blind lead the blind. Put their hands together, fingers went right through what they talked about at midnight. Neither one of them ever knew. Oh, they were twisting in the whirlwind. Forgiven is the original sin. Twisting in the whirlwind. Never saw themselves again. Think about tomorrow. Think about last night. The road ain't going nowhere, but the end is still in sight. Remember how she looked at him, trying to understand. A body without a woman, a mind without a man. Oh, twisting in the whirlwind. Forgetting is the original sin. Twisting in the whirlwind. Never saw themselves again. Oh, remember how she looked at him, trying to understand. A body without a woman, a mind without a man. Oh, they were twisting in the whirlwind. Forgiven is the original sin. Twisting in the whirlwind. Never saw themselves again. Twisting in the whirlwind, forgiven. Oh yeah, never saw themselves again.
When you read a poem in front of an audience, you don't act. This is part of the tradition of poetry readings, and there's a reason for it, which is that one can overperform. I've seen a number of rather bad poetry readings in which the person reading was too histrionic, was too dramatic, and it takes the audience's attention away from the words and puts their attention on the individual who's reading the words. Now, in a musical performance, that's just fine. But as a reader of poems in front of an audience, one is a representative of the poetry rather than the other way around.
The wreck of a tractor rusts in an empty lot behind the abandoned laundry, across from the burnt hotel. Somebody pulled the plug and this whole side of town flicked off. Pigeon in the mailbox, skunk on the cornice, scrambling. No ghosts. The dead never had a deed here. They're evicted. Their ectoplasmic junk tossed on the sidewalk, exorcised. The landlord torched the building while the band was tuning up. In the parlor off the lobby, oh miserable ballad of essences, angelic body of smoke with a guitar hidden in it, useless siren, useless song, the working girls of the provinces, rift in firelight, divas against the stars.
Well, I insisted, against some advice otherwise, to have the poem in my hand because it reminds the audience that I'm actually reading from a script. The text has got to be there, just as much as the saxophone has got to be there. It's an instrument. The text is also an instrument, and it's the instrument whereby the poem becomes the poem. I wouldn't want to sing my saxophone part.
The wreck of a tractor in a vacant lot. Behind the burned out hotel. In the parlor off the lobby, there's an angel made of smoke. Plays that black piano so well. It's a long walk from here to the crossroads. It's not far from here to the jail. I got bail. There's nothing left but scars and neon on your face. There's nothing between Memphis and Tunica but empty space. When they ask you where you're from, swallow and confess. Tell them Mississippi, more or less. I rode a blind freight to Chicago. I took the Chrome Club car out to LA. What goes up in smoke comes back down in ashes. You're lucky, Lord, you don't get blown away. Oh, but nobody's calling the police. You didn't get set free, you just got released. Lord, ain't that sweet? Oh, nobody's waiting there when you awake. You ain't got a dime, but hell, that ain't no disgrace. When they ask you where you're from, swallow and confess. Tell them, Lord, I'm from Mississippi, more or less. The angel played black piano, and a nude wind blows through the cotton fields. The smell of a mule and the roots of an oak. Hey, you're broke, baby. Oh, but you know it ain't never been real. Oh, yeah. Nobody's waiting there. Oh, when you awake. Oh, baby, you ain't got a dime. Ain't got a dime, but you know that's no disgrace. When they ask you where you're from, honey, swallow and confess. Tell them, yeah, Mississippi, more or less. Oh, Mississippi, more or less.
But this is not folk music, it's not country, though there are country elements in some of the songs.
Absolutely.
It's not jazz. A lot of poets, when they get into the music thing, tend to either go toward jazz or towards something folky, country-based. And I know a lot of poets/musicians who do that and have done that. We wanted this to be definitely rock music.
While they were making love, it crossed her mind that she could kill him. Easily, quickly. He was so helpless there inside her, making his little moans. She could kill him or not. While morning gathered brilliance east of the factory tower, she understood the cool clarity of that vaulted air. She loved him terribly, but she could do it. With the ashtray, maybe. a heavy crystal thing full of lipstick ashes and cotton balls already stained nail polish crimson. A stroke behind the ear. As he kissed her shoulder, and she watched the pulse in his temple, an enormous neutrality came over her. There was nothing personal in it. When he died, it would break her heart. Yet she could do it, now, as easily as that luminous little cloud beyond the smokestack she saw out the window lifted its weightlessness in the light.
There was a performative aspect of Terry's reading where I'm sort of playing in the background and some of the other guys are adding just these sort of nuances, and I wanted to keep it on an improvisational sort of way so that I was reacting to his reading and I was trying to pay as much attention to the actual words so that what was coming from my instrument was my sort of interpretation of it, but sort of underneath it. And then at the same time from there to go into the song in the way that it had there was less of a start-stop kind of thing.
There's no real reason why she isn't here. Just that old black magic makes people disappear. You might see her on the sidewalk in a day. Oh, but where she's gone to is a universal way. Smoke inside a bottle. Oh, heart of a flame. She's high-minded, low down again. Oh, she's high-minded. The neighborhood's abandoned since she spread her wings to go. Oh, but she still lives here. The neighbors wouldn't know. The neighborhood's abandoned. The empty houses ring. Lord, it's dark inside the bedroom. You can almost hear her dream. Oh, smoke inside a bottle. Oh, heart of a flame. She's high-minded, now down again. Oh, no, down again. Oh, time was she told me she'd remember everything. She's a lover of the shadows now. Oh, paper in the wind. Oh, hey, yeah. Lord, smoke inside a bottle. Oh, heart of a flame. She's high-minded, low down again. Low down again. Low down again.
As soon as the first chord was out there, and I went, oh, this sounds fabulous. Then I knew everything was going to fall into place because all those musicians are so good at what they do. And we all had faith in that, and it just flew.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining me for the Songwriters Showcase. For more information of all the events here at the Tempe Center for the Arts, visit our website, tempe.gov/TCA. Until we meet again, keep playing, keep jamming, keep singing, all right?